Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Nurai binti Nuraza.
My name is Nurisa Azga binti Muhammad Yazid.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
My name is Nuri Farisha binti Rafi.
My name is Nur Alia binti Nizam. We are from class GIM 1104E.
So we start with introduction, which is the problem of Nawal faced. Nawal is a new student at the University Technology Mara (UITM). The problem that her face is that she need to buy a new computer for her studies, need a computer for work, using utility software such as Microsoft Word, Excel, and Access. Besides that, she also need to use programming software such as VB.NET and C++. Authority software such as Adobe Dreamweaver, Adobe Premiere, and Adobe Director. And the computer should also be able to support large graphics for gaming and a good sound system for watching a movie added in CD or DVD. Lastly, she needs a large storage capacity to store her files. Next, we continue with three solutions of Nawal problem. First, Nawal has to buy a computer to fulfill her needs to make a work in Unicity easily and faster without cause any problem. Second, Nawal can download the latest auto software, which is similar to Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Premium, to create special effects in video or multimedia because it can produce a movie with an extraordinary special effect.
Next, I will explain about the computer specification. First is motherboard. Motherboard is a main printed circuit board (PCB). It means motherboard are the place where all the components or devices are connected directly and indirectly. The motherboard is a computer central communication backbone connectivity point through which all components and external peripheral connect. The large printed circuit board (PCB) of a motherboard may include 6 to 14 layers of fiberglass, copper connecting traces, and copper planes for power and signal isolation. Next, move to the speed. The speed of motherboard. The speed depends to how the bus is running. It means a bus is simply a circuit that connects one part of the motherboard to the other. If there is more data of the bus can handle at one time and it will be fast, allows to information travels. The speed of the bus measured in megahertz (MHz) in abbreviation and also refers to how much data can move across the bus simultaneously. And next, the speed of bus usually refers to the speed of the front side bus (FSB), which connects the CPU to the NOT bridge. FSB speeds can range from 66 MHz to over 800 MHz. Since the CPU reaches the memory controller through the NOT bridge, FSB speed can automatically affect a computer's performance. Next, we move to the capacity. The capacity of RAM, random access memory, means the memory that our computer uses to store any data from programs that are in use. The step is checking the operating system. Firstly, determine if the Windows is 32-bit or 64-bit. It is because the Windows operating system has a maximum amount of RAM that it will recognize. Secondly, check model of MSC, Mac, and determine how much our Linux system support. Next, checking the motherboard. Firstly, we have to identify the motherboard. Check it even if your operating system support a ton of RAM. You are still limited by what your motherboard can support. Okay, next we move to the types. Motherboard have so many types of motherboard. First is integrated motherboard. An integrated system board that has multiple components integrated into the boards. And next is non-integrated motherboard. It is used installable components and expansion cards. For example, non-integrated system board may allow us to upgrade the video card by removing the old one and installing a new one. Next, the type is desktop motherboard, used in personal or desktop computer. It is used for the application either at home or in office. This type of motherboard is more basic type. Next is laptop motherboard. Laptop motherboard are used to connect different parts of a laptop system. The motherboard generally have very advanced features as compared to the desktop motherboard, and most of the functions have been integrated into the laptop motherboard. And then server motherboard. Server motherboard are the most advanced because of the design to offer high-end service which are more reliable and ready to operate in 24/7 environment. And then the AT motherboard. AT motherboard is a motherboard which has dimension of the order or some 100 millimeters big, enough to be unable to fit in the mini desktop. And lastly is ATX motherboard. Advanced technology extend or popularly known as the ATX. It means the motherboard were produced by the Intel in midst of 90s as an improvement from the previously. For recommendation, we would like to suggest to Nawal to use desktop motherboard since she wanted to buy a computer. Desktop motherboard are more suitable for computer. Besides that, desktop motherboard are more used to use it because it's just a basic type. Desktop motherboard are not complicated just like the other motherboard. As a student, must want something easy to use. That is why we suggest to use desktop motherboard. It will help the student to finish the work more fast and without it hang. That's all for motherboard. The next computer specification is computer case. Computer case are also known as computer cases, but sometimes it is also referred to the CPU or hard drive, an enclosure that contains most of the components of a computer. Form factors typically specify only the internal dimension and layout of the case. For rack-mounted and blade servers, form factors may include precise external dimension as well. So, for example, a case designed for an ATX motherboard and power supply may take on several external forms, such as a vertical tower or a flat desktop. The computer cases serves mainly as a way to physically mount and contain all of the actual components instead of a computer like the motherboard, hard drive, optical drive, floppy disk drive, and etc. They typically come bundled with a power supply. Next, the types of computer case. First is desktop. Desktop are designed so that the system unit fit entirely on top a desk table. In addition, some models are monitor sits on top of system unit. Next is the type is tower. Nowadays, most of the casing now using a tower style. The design of tower enables the system unit to sit on the floor or under the desk vertically. So the advantage of the desktop, it is more suitable for the computer and the user are easy to use. User will avoid from something complicated because it is hard to use. Number 2, user will be more easy to bring it or move it because it is not too big and it's just small. Number 3, desktop can fix the space because of their small size than the tower one. And then move to the advantage of the tower. Tower are more flexible. It is suitable to place on the desk, beside the computer or under the desk. It is because the sides are more stable to be put at anywhere near the computer. Number 2, tower are better cooling. With a full-size tower, your case has more room for airflow. To go along with that, the case will have room for larger fans as well. So we move to the recommendation. We would like to recommend to Nawal the Tower one. Tower is a great PC for end user and small business, and also Nawal is a student and is so suitable for Nawal. More suitable for students because of the costs are more cheap, better than the desktop one. Next is hardware. Hardware is the physical aspect of computer, telecommunications, and other devices. It is consists of not only the computer proper but also the cables, connectors, power supply unit, and peripheral device such as the keyboard, mouse, audio speaker, and the printer. The internal hardware parts of a computer are often referred to as component, while external hardware devices are usually called peripheral. Next, we move to the types of the hardware. The types of hardware. First is Central Processing Unit, CPU. CPU are the main brains of the computer that will running the computer. If there is no CPU, the computer cannot be used. And then CPU are the place for all the calculation. And there is two typical components of CPU. First is Arithmetic Logic Unit, ALU, and the second one is Control Unit, CU. Next is motherboard. Motherboard can be defined as the main circuit board of a microcomputer. Motherboard are consists of the CPU, memory, expansion slots, and all the controllers required to control standard hardware device. Number 3, Random Access Memory, RAM. RAM is the place in a computer where the operating system, application programs, and data in the current use are being saved or kept. Then RAM are temporary memory and can be compared to a person's short-term memory. A random access memory device allows data items to be read or written in almost the same amount of time irrespective of the physical location of data inside the memory. The capacity is low and moderate. The speed is very fast. Move to read-only memory, ROM. ROM is the technology that allows us to write data only once. After the data has been written, we can read it an unlimited numbers of times. Because ROM is read-only, it cannot be changed, it is permanent and non-volatile, meaning it also holds its memory even when power is removed. By contrast, random access memory RAM is volatile. It is lost off when power is removed. The capacity of ROM is high and the speed is low. Next, move to the graphic cards. A graphic card are one of the computer's piece hardware that produce the image that we can see on the monitor. The graphic card is responsible for rendering an image to our monitor. It is also can do this by converting data into a signal the monitor can read it or understand it. If the graphic cards are more good, it will make the image become more smoother to be produced. This is very important for gamers and video editors. The games and the video that they produce will be more nice. Next, we would like to recommend to Nawal to choose all the hardware that we stated before, because CPU, motherboard, RAM and ROM and also graphic cards are important to make the computer running in a good condition. As a student must need a computer that can help to do work more effective and efficient. We also suggest the graphic cards to Nawal because graphic card can help Nawal produce a smooth game and video. It will help Nawal give the good effect on the game and video.
Today, I would like to explain component for this PC proposal under software, input device and output device. Firstly, I will talk about software. Software is a set of instruction, data and program used to operate computer and execute specific tasks that needed in the computer because it controls all the operation of the computer hardware. Okay, for now, we suggest to use operating system which is Windows 10. This system because it was the latest ones and offer much kind of benefit and function much faster than older version. In this Windows 10 has many variety of software that can fulfill the entire requirement that Nawal need for her computer. The first software is utility software that allows performing maintenance type tasks such as file manager, search tool, disk cleanup, disk defragmenter, PC maintenance, and backup tool. We also provide the total AV antivirus as protect a computer against virus and remove the virus from the computer. Second is productivity software used for producing information such as document, presentation, worksheets, digital paintings, and others. We suggest to purchase the latest Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2019 that consists of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft Access that Nawal need. Other than that, it also contains other Microsoft such as Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Publisher, Microsoft Outlook, and OneNote. It's complete and can use it later when needed. Third is programming software that help the programmer in developing other software. Nawal need this programming software to be in her computer and we suggest installing the Visual Basic.net or FVBNet that support the future of object-oriented programming. For C++ programming software, we choose Visual Video Code, which is more customizable, and this software can rank the most popular developer environment tool among others. Okay, lastly is authoring software that help to create user-owned media content. Nawal maybe need this type of software because as we know, when entering the university life, it will use to show our own creativity and interesting content, especially when doing the assignment. As Nawal requested, we suggest installing Adobe Dreamweaver CC 2019, Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019, and Adobe Director 12. The three types of this Adobe that has mentioned is the latest version with complete and easily to conduct for Nawal. Next, we move to the input device. As we know, input device is a piece of hardware used to provide data to a computer used for interaction and control. For this computer, we have three basic input devices. Firstly, we suggest to buying keyboard with mouse because it more affordable than buys it separated. We choose Logitech MK214 Nano that contains wireless keyboard and mouse. Wireless thing right now become more popular and choose among people because it more orderly and increase amount of space. This Logitech is 2.4 gigabits wireless work from up to 10 meters away with fast data transmission. It durable and has 36-month keyboard and 12-month mouse battery life, plus auto sleep and on-off switch. After mouse and keyboard, the third input device for Nawal computer is webcam. For a better video conferencing, we suggest Nawal to have Logitech C217 webcam because it will help to have more clearly with quality image and sound when video conferencing. This webcam have many kind of feature that can make worth it to buy for Nawal. The resolution of this webcam is 720p 30 fps with 1.5 meter cable length and can adjust the lighting condition to produce a brighter and contrast image. This C217 webcam have good in noise reducing mic to make sure voice come across clearly. After explain the input device, the last component that I want to present is output device for computer. Output device is a hardware component that convey information to user of the computer and other people. Okay, the first output device is monitor that known as a display device that packaged as a separated graphical device that visually convey text, graphic, and video information. We choose HP 24Y 23.8-inch monitor with full high definition that display high resolution that can give a clear display. This monitor can connect to VGA, DVI, and HDMI port and offer reduced energy consumption. Second output device is speaker. For good system sound as requested by Nawal, we suggest Creative Pebble V2 speaker for her. This Creative Pebble is 2.0 speaker system that able to deliver balanced audio with depth, impressiveness, and clear details. Other than that, it comes with many features that can make easier for Nawal as student. Besides that, this speaker also known as the top pick for computer speaker under 100 by the PC World. This show that this speaker have a good condition to use. The third output device is flash drive that used for storing data or transferring it to or from a computer. We suggest Nawal to use Data Traveler 100 G3 USB flash drive 128 GB to help her store and transfer document, presentation, music, videos, and others. Fourth is headphone for now on, because this headphone used to hear sound more privacy and detail. Stereo headphone RPHF 100 mg WA Panasonic was our recommend to Nawal because it more lightweight and durable to carry everywhere. It can produce powerful and well-balanced sounds and have comfortable and ergonomic design. The last output device for this PC proposal for Nawal computer is printer. We suggest Nawal to use Pixma MG3070S printer with compact wireless all-in-one and low-cost cartridge that can do three types of tasks, which is print, copy, and scan. Automatically, this can reduce more cost for Nawal as student, and she also can do printer services to gain some money, and Pixma printer offer ISO standard print speed up to 8.0 rpm lake, 4.0 rpm color, high speed USB 2.0, and it's offered at an affordable price that everyone can purchase it. So that's all from me. Thank you.
I will explain about pricing consideration. All the computer specification that all my friends have suggested for Nawal, they are priced for each computer specification. There are 6 computer specification, which is computer, case, motherboard, software, hardware, input devices, and output devices. So for motherboard, they have suggested for a brand that name Asus that has a price which is 279 ringgit Malaysia. For computer case, they have suggested Armageddon, NeedMist, and Fire Aurora Micro. That has a price is 109 ringgit Malaysia. For hardware, they use HP 8GB random access memory RAM that costs 200 ringgit Malaysia. And for graphic card, they have suggested GTX 1060 that costs RM213. For software, they have suggested that a latest software for Nawal to use, which is Total AV Antivirus, which costs 81 ringgit Malaysia. Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2019, which costs 595, that quite expensive. The Visual Basic Net software that costs 169 ringgit Malaysia. Adobe Dreamweaver CC 2019, 30 ringgit. Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2019, 10 ringgit. And Adobe Director 12, which is cost 30 ringgit. For input devices that they have suggested for Nawal to use to make her works is easier, they has suggested for input devices that Logitech MK240 Nano keyboard and mouse, which costs 292 ringgit, and Logitech C270 webcam that costs 357 ringgit. For output devices, they have suggested the HP 25 to 23.8 inch monitor that costs 398 ringgit. That is quite expensive but worth. Creative Pebble V2 speaker that costs 98 ringgit. Kingston Data Traveler Flash Drive 128 GB, which is gigabyte, that costs only 5 ringgit Malaysia. Panasonic stereo headphone that costs 65 ringgit Malaysia. Pixma MG30Z70S printer that costs 269 ringgit Malaysia. The total cost of all these computer specification is 3,350 ringgit Malaysia. Pricing is very important for students to make sure they can afford what they want. So, in the now situation, we have suggested that all the computer specification that have a total cost 3,350 ringgit. I think it is quite expensive for Nawal as a student, but affordable for Nawal as a student, because all of item that we suggested for Nawal is worth buying. All the product that we have suggested for Nawal also have their own quality, even though they are quite expensive for Nawal. If the item quite expensive for Nawal, who is currently as a student, she will get interested with the item because she want a product that has a quality to make sure all the work that all her work can get done easily and faster without cause any problem. So, for example, Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2019 is quite expensive for Nawal to purchase, but Nawal can find a solution to get a free trial from internet to use the quality item to make her work easier and faster. I think that our pricing consideration for all the suggested computer specification is affordable for students, because most students needs a good computer for them to work in their university. All the computer specification that we suggested for Nawal are not really expensive for Nawal to purchase it, because most of students are now can save their money, especially for students that have applied for PTPTN. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So, in conclusion, Nawal should buy a computer that consists all the criteria that have been discussed before, in order to make sure that she can utilize software such as Microsoft Word, Excel, and many more. So, from the motherboard until the printer, it is being recommended to Nawal that the most suitable type of computer that she is needed to support her in all kinds of things that she need as a student. So Nawal can choose computer wisely after she knows about this suggestion. As for the price was quite expensive, but the computer will be going to use from years to years as Nawal will become a student. It is very recommended that computer to buy this computer because it will last long until Nawal finish her studies. Okay, so that's all from us for this video presentation. Thank you for watching.